Mark here, hope you're well. Now, it's been great reacquainting myself with the big Triumph Triple, so many thanks to the guys up at Hinckley for letting me borrow the bike over an extended period of time. It's been great to reacquaint myself with the bike. I used to have the previous generation, what was then called the Tiger 1050, and of course it's been developed an awful lot since then. So in this video, I want to tell you what it's like to live with the bike on a day-to-day basis. So to that end, stick around and stay tuned for the next couple of minutes and I'll tell you what it's like to ride this bike both day and night, what it's like on the motorway, what it's like through town, what it's like to clean the machine, what it's like at the fuel station, all that sort of stuff. So this is what I found out.
Okay, so from a fuel economy point of view, according to the computer on the bike, I'm getting 48.9 miles per gallon. And that's after a run, this was reset about 150 miles ago, something like that. So that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I'm about to go and fuel her up now for the first time, and we'll see what it says in terms of range once I've done that. Right, let's go and get the Tiger Sport filled up with some motion lotion then, and see how much of a faff she is at the fuel station, if indeed she is a faff. I don't see why she should be. Sometimes different vehicles can catch you out though, can't they, with their setup with fuel caps, etc. I have to say this one looks pretty straightforward. Quite a neat looking cap on here actually. Right, we've got one with card payment, would be good. So great wide bars, so manoeuvring around at the fuel station, piece of cake. Right, the cap then. Quite a neat looking thing. It's just got like a lift flap. I'll have to use the key for that, there you go. And okay, so it's just an unlock, turn and flip up, so piece of cake. Right, let's not put diesel in it. So the side stand is quite sort of spindly on here, but she doesn't go over at a huge angle or anything, so it should be straightforward to top up, I think. There we go. Careful not to spill it on the nice matte paint job. Okay, this key didn't spring back itself, you had to turn it to positively stop it, but no problem. Okay, let's get this show back on the road. Fueling up then, no drama. Right, let's give it a moment to register and we'll see what range it's saying. So the fuel gauge hasn't registered that we filled it up yet. My old Tiger used to do that. It used to take a few hundred metres of riding till it realised you'd filled it up. It looks like this is the same. Still not registering. Come on, I'll definitely put fuel in. How long is that going to last? Okay, she's registered now, and she's saying that I've got a range of 191 miles to the tank. So, well, if that's true, that's pretty good. That's pretty useful for touring. Oh, it's gone down to 188 now. It's obviously just settling down. Let's give it a few more minutes. Oh, lights always against me. Okay, so it seems to have settled on 188 miles now. Don't know if you can see that just here. 187. Keep an eye on that. So if we said 185 miles out of a full tank, then that seems pretty good.
Okay, so what about some of the sort of daily type maintenance routines that you have to go through when you're on a bike? First thing I thought we'd look at is just checking the tyre pressures. Now Triumph have rather handily, or helpfully, put these sort of right angled valves on the wheels so they're a bit easy to get to. And on the back here it's great. I use one of these sort of dial type pressure gauges, and it's really no issue with this single sided swing arm just to stick there on and easily take a reading. There we go, 36 psi, no problem at all. So back wheel absolutely fine, front wheel not so much. So front wheel then, same sort of arrangement, right angled valve, which is great, but because you've got the flipping great disc there, and there's not a lot that Triumph can do about this. This is the problem with many bikes. It's really hard to get this in there easily, and in fact You can sort of get it in. Well, if you try it like that, you release the valve there. So you've got to do it at a really strange angle, which is a bit of a nuisance with this particular gauge. There you go. It is possible to do, but you know, it's one of those sort of knuckle scrapers. So just a small point, but not the easiest to check of any bike I've ever had.
So on the motorway then, as you'd expect, the big Tiger Sport is absolutely at home. It's lovely and stable, it's got loads of power, and here I am, I'm doing 70 miles an hour, so the top legal speed, and there's absolutely loads more power where that's come from. It was really stable on these big sweeping bends, and you could sit here all day covering continents. As a tourer, great bike. Funny enough, with this peaked helmet on, I'm not getting quite so much turbulence off the top of the helmet. I don't know if it sort of works from a streamlining point of view, but with my other helmet, my Shoei without the peak, I was finding quite a bit of dirty turbulence coming off the top of the windscreen. I've got it on its highest position, and I'm not getting that now. My head's not being buffeted at all, so perfectly comfortable for motorway cruising. Out of interest, let's just try the cruise control. The set button is there. Okay, so it's in cruise control now, and it's keeping me at 63, 64 miles an hour, so I can take my hand off, and that's great. It was a little bit of a faff to set, I have to say, because I was going at 70 miles an hour when I set it, but in actually setting it, I moved the throttle a little bit, and she settled down at 63, so to get it back, I think you'd have to knock the resume button up, but being very careful not to touch the throttle. There we go, it can be done. So let's get it back to 70 on the cruise control. There we go, perfect. So that works absolutely fine, albeit it's a bit of a faff to set. Now I can disable it, of course, by bringing the throttle off like that, and now it's just back to riding normally. So great to have cruise control, but not the easiest to set, it has to be said. Lovely bike on the motorway though. I've got very little buffet around the chest area, and the head's quite clear of turbulence. Maybe at these higher speeds, maybe it throws it over the helmet, or perhaps this is just a better helmet to be wearing, I don't know. Funny enough, my range, now being on the motorway for a while, has gone up to 191, 192 now, it's going up as I speak. How bizarre. So what's the Tiger Sport like around town? Well, she's very flickable. The engine is very tractable, so actually manoeuvrability is great, and slow speed, she's a joy to ride. You can filter her through traffic, no problem at all. I get my feet on the deck nice and easily. So around town, Tiger Sport I'd say is pretty good. Pretty good for filtering as well, because the widest point on the bike is of course handlebars, so you know what sort of gaps you can get through. And with the excellent turning circle, there's no problem about getting caught in little spaces that you then struggle to get out of. So no problem around town. Check out the lights on this beast. Been upgraded in the last iteration or so. This has got these really neat little running lights at the top here, and I love the fact that actually both lights are on. Back when I owned my own Tiger, my old Tiger, they just used to be one light on, and it used to really bug me, and you had to buy a special kit to make both of them come on. So yeah, well done. More bikes should do that. I think Japanese bikes where they just have the one light on, it always makes people think you've got a light out. All well in the daytime, but what about night time? So at night time, these splendid new lights work really nicely. It's a really nice bright light we've got here. I'm guessing they're LED lights. If I put them on a full beam, then yeah, it's one of those turning night into day jobs. Really nice on full beam, just the one simple switch to operate. These cameras never, let's get back to dip, these cameras never show lights very well, so you kind of have to take it from me. The lighting on this is quite nice, it's got quite a nice spread. I can see to the sides of me nicely, and I can see a good 50 yards ahead. I think if anything, I'd probably want that dip light just adjusted up slightly, but overall they're pretty good lights. I've used much worse, I have to say. One other thing to note is the controls aren't illuminated at night, which is a bit of a nuisance till you get to know where they all are. There are very few bikes that do have illuminated controls, but it's one of those things that would be nice to have. Okay, he's turning off. So yeah, riding at night on the Big Tiger, not an issue, great lights. So washing the bike is something that's very close to my heart. This bike I would put in the category of being quite awkward to wash. You need to make sure you bung up the exhaust with something, some paper or an old rag or something, because it's quite a sort of an angle on the exhaust and you could end up filling the exhaust up with some water. I was a bit worried that the finish on it might be tricky because it's that sort of black matte stuff, but actually that was absolutely fine, no problem at all. It reminded me a little bit of the GS actually when it came to cleaning, which is not a good thing, by the way. The back wheel, nice and easy with that single-sided swing arm, so you can really get at that nicely. And once you get her all rinsed down, then actually she comes up quite nicely. Didn't film it here, but the actual drying process was a bit of a pain. Again, lots of nooks and crannies with the dryer.
Another little thing that strikes me about the Tiger, might be a bit of a pain from an ownership point of view, not something that I've had to worry about in the short time I've had the bike, but there's no centre stand as standard. Pretty sure there's one as an option. I certainly had one on my old 1050, but if you're going to get one of these bikes, it might be worth doing that because it just makes life so much easier when it comes to oiling the chain. I mean, you can roll it around the driveway and oil it that way, but it's a bit of hassle. And with a single-sided swing arm, it means you need to get something to lift the bike reasonably. You can either get a specialist adapter for the single-sided swing arm, or you can get something like an ABBA stand that sits in at the swing arm pivot. That's what I prefer. But you're going to need something like that in order to get the back wheel off the ground so you can oil the chain properly.
Manhandling the bike on the gravel driveway, absolutely no problem. I'm making a bit of a meal of it here, but actually it was quite easy. It was easier than my GS, which isn't hard. Certainly a lot easier than my old Tiger used to be. So what about riding the Big Tiger Sport with a pillion on the back then? Say hello, pillion. Well, the Big Tiger, as you can imagine, it's got bags of grunt, and in terms of the engine response, you really don't notice any difference with somebody on the back. Of course, like riding with any pillion, you've got to just plan your braking a little bit. And as much as anything, just make it a smooth ride for the pillion, but the bike itself can more than handle it. If you want to use this as a cross-continental tourer, you don't even know you've got the pillion on the back, so it's absolutely fantastic for that. Right, clear, not clear. Actually, I can't feel that you're on there at all at the stop. It's absolutely brilliant. Is it? How do you find it compared to the big Beamer? Really, what, in terms of the seat padding or the position? Yep. Right, okay. Is it because you haven't got a backrest? And what about how about your legs? How are they tucked up? And my camera shy pillion reports that the pillion seat itself is reasonably comfortable, but not as good as, for example, my big GS. The padding's not quite as comfortable, and the legs are up a little bit higher, but so wouldn't be so keen on doing long distances on the bike, but that's obviously one person's opinion. Okay, so sadly my time with the Big Tiger has come to an end. I've particularly enjoyed reacquainting myself with the bike again. Really loved getting to know the big triple engine. It's a real fabulous engine and great fun to ride, much more agile than I thought. So thanks very much for the guys up at Hinckley once again for letting me have the bike over an extended period of time. I've got to ride it back up there again now and hopefully swap it out for something exciting for another set of long-term reviews. So stay tuned to the channel and there should be some more of those long-term reviews coming soon. But until then, this has been the Listen and Fly. Cheerio.